what interests me is I think there's a pattern, and I've seen it just through amazing guests that I've interviewed, amazing successful people that I've been around. There's definitely a pattern. I'm going to call it, I'm very spiritual, but like in, I think, manifestation, and also showing up and seeing yourself as a little girl, as that little 13-year-old Jessie Lee, you know. One of my favorite people, I know that you are friends with her, Coach Stormy, who I love, like I adore her, but she, you know, often says, you know, you got to show up as the person and see yourself as that person, even if you're not that person right now. And I know, I mean, I can see by just watching your content, knowing you know, it's almost the same thing. And I think even with myself, I've seen my journey. Like, what do you think about vision boards, writing things down, acting as if, because I think you got to put in the freaking action, right? But besides from that, what did you do, and how did you see yourself as a global speaker on a stage? Did you say affirmations? I really want to know the patterns behind how you thought and what led to your success. And then the next question you're going to love, but let's stop here. I want to find out the Jessie Lee journey.
Okay. All right. So, there's a lot in there. I agree with all of it. Show up as the version of yourself that you want to be. And something people can do with this, I'll kind of give you an exercise for it, is actually write down how that version of you shows up. So even if you can't yet, you know, show up in the same car, or the clothes that you wrote down, or the hairstyle, or the shoes, or whatever, at least have an awareness of what that looks like. Because what I actually think is important is the vision, to your point. And yes, I love vision boards. I make one every year. It's somewhere in here. I made mine this year. But like, something has to pull you. A vision has to pull you. If you're not passionate about something, if you're not excited about it, if you don't see it, it will not pull you. And so I'm really big on the actual clarity of seeing things. And I train this. I've taught it in my accelerator program, but or at least for the platinums. I don't know who I train it for, but there's 3 different ways you should be visualizing things. You shouldn't just see things like, oh, I closed my eyes and I saw me sitting in my dream car. You have to ask yourself, how are you seeing it? Are you seeing it when you close your eyes, like you're looking at yourself sitting in the car, in your dream car? Are you looking at it like you are the person, like just like you, like you're driving out on the driver's side, like that? Or are you seeing it like somebody's looking directly at you? I know that might sound kind of weird, but everybody visualizes one of those ways. So another way to think of it is like, people will visualize, if they're the batter or something, they'll visualize themselves as the batter, the pitcher, and then somebody watching from like third baseline. Okay. But for me, I think what people need to do is you need to see it all 3 ways over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And what will happen is, if you continue to visualize it, it starts getting really clear. You start seeing what color your hair is. You start seeing, I'm using that because you know, your hair is pretty in platinum, right? But it might change, right? You start seeing the kind of clothing that you're wearing. You start to really slow it down, and you start to really visualize what you're thinking about in that moment, or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, the biggest moments of my life, I saw them crystal clear before they ever happened. Like, not kind of, to the point where, I'm not kidding, like to the point where, like, so just so you know, I've flown private, I don't know, 50 times. I have never paid to fly private until last month. Okay. For the first time ever last month, I chartered a plane. And it's crazy because I've seen myself walk on the plane a million times, and I always wondered, why is this still something I'm visualizing? And it wasn't until I paid the money to charter that plane and I walked on the plane that now I don't see that anymore. And it was almost like that was the moment I felt like, oh, I'm walking into this exact moment. But I've done it too on stage. I've seen myself walking across a stage, collecting a certain award that I literally just got this last year, and holding it up like that. Like, I literally did the same thing. Just raised the trophy like this. I have the photo. I'm like, I've seen this 1,000 times, right? So I know for some people that are, you know, maybe in a negative headspace, or you think that this kind of stuff is hocus pocus, you think I'm, you know, spouting off and being one of these nutso people. I don't really care what you think, because there's a reason my life looks the way it does. It's exactly how I wanted my life to look. It's exactly how I saw my life looking. And you can do the same thing, but it's a choice. And too many people choose, again, to listen to the negative voices instead of the positive voices. And it's just so obvious. So obvious.
So true. And writing stuff down, you know, do you write your goals down? How do you feel?
Oh yeah, write everything down. I'm a big fan of like setting triggers up in your day, so you're triggered to revisualize stuff over and over again. I'm a big fan of like lock screens being specific things. I'm a big fan of the vision boards, like you said. I'm a fan of journaling every day. I'm all of it. All of it. You can't do too much of it, you know? It's like whatever the quote is. He's like, motivation doesn't last every day, just like showering. That's why we recommend it daily. It's like I'm constantly having to put myself back in the proper headspaces. But it's like you can give yourself 5 minutes, you can or you give yourself 5 years. Throw yourself a pity party if you feel like it. But ultimately, it's like life is going to move on. So are you going to be strong and secure in your goals, your dreams, your visions, or are you just going to let somebody rip them from you and then go down into whatever rabbit hole of sadness that you dive down?